No, as you may have, I don't know how I've been tracking this since I was a kid, since I was 17. 1964, President Johnson took the dollar or put the silver dollar and made it fake silver dollars and dimes and quarters. So that's why the American coins have the copper tinge around it. It's called, fake money. But what's happening is that so the BRICS nation are coming, Russia, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now Saudi Arabia coming after us. Um, what's happening is that in 2017, the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, made gold tier one asset. See, up until then, the US Treasury was tier one assets. So the whole world is filled with US Treasuries and bonds. And as you and I have talked over the years, I don't like treasuries and bonds, and because they're fake. So what's going to happen is when they keep raising interest rates, those treasuries they're becoming worthless. Let's say you have a treasury at 5% or a bond at 5%, and the interest rates go to 10%. It's going to collapse the system. So like Japan, which has had quantitative easing for years and years and years and years now, is filled with US treasuries. So is China. So is the Fed. And so it just started to happen, a few months, or 2017 again, there was a reverse repo. And a reverse repo was what happened just before 2008 in America. And a reverse repo is very simply this, is what happens is the Fed will give money to, let's say, a tier one bank, like let's say Bank of America. A reverse repo is this. So if a Fed gives money to Bank of America, that's called a repo. So they're backing up Bank of America. A reverse repo is Bank of America and all the tier one banks give it back to the Fed. They don't want the money. They don't want the bond. And it's not they don't want the bond. When they give the money, when the bank, let's say Bank of America, gives the money back to the Fed, that's saying we don't want to lend money anymore, because it's an indictment. Andy Schectman says this. He says it's an indictment of the US economy. We're going down. Now, if that goes down, to keep raising interest rates, all those bonds will crash, because, who wants a 5% bond when you get a 10% bond? And the rumor is, this is according to Andy Schectman, a long shot is this: Japan may join the BRICS, Brazil, India. And what will happen is then, instead of a bailout, bailouts what happened with Lehman Brothers in 2008. And so the taxpayer gave money to Lehman Brothers. What will happen is this: there'll be a bail-in, which happened in Cyprus in 2008, is Bank of America, when they give all those treasuries back or the bonds back to the Fed, people will run on Bank of America, and Bank of America will say, so you and I go to the bank and say, we want our money back. We want our savings back. And Bank of America says, our door is shut because there's a run on the bank. But guess what? Instead of your cash or your savings, we'll give you back stock in Bank of America. That's a bail-in. Now, I hope it doesn't happen,